Hey there, it is Thursday, September 19th, 2019, coming to you with a message about learning how to treat ourselves stemming from our childhood, right? So, everything that we experience and how we experience it is shaped by either internal influences or external. And as a child, they're mostly external, right? As we're learning and figuring out the world around us. So I wanted to share a personal story with you and open up a little bit. And I think a lot of people can relate. I'm going to be brave and share a little bit of my story. So I grew up as a child of a broken home. My parents were divorced and they remarried and all kinds of things like that. Okay, fine. That's kind of normal and mainstream these days. But what was a little unique and different was that my parents were drug addicts and alcoholics, and it created a unique dynamic in the household. And as a kid, I didn't understand this, and I didn't know. I didn't fully understand what was going on. I just knew that sometimes it was really chaotic, and sometimes it was scary, and it was lonely, and it just was unpredictable. We can put it that way. My parents were either high and out and functioning, or sleeping it off, or going through withdrawals, and emotions were very volatile. So either things were really chill or really not chill and kind of scary. So left a lot of room for not feeling safe and not feeling secure, and not feeling well cared for at times and neglected. And so I'm grown now, obviously, and I've done a lot of healing and been to a lot of retreats and seminars and done a lot of self work. But really, I didn't turn out to be a drug addict or an alcoholic, mostly because I saw what that life was, and I didn't want that for myself. And one of my favorite books of all time is The Berenstain Bears, The Bike Lesson. And I really feel like that's been kind of the motif of my life, really. And if you've never read the book, you totally need to go read it. But basically, Papa Bear buys Baby Bear a bike, and the Baby Bear is like, hey, I want to go ride it. And Papa Bear's like, no, I need to show you how to ride this thing. And it's funny as hell. And it's basically Papa Bear trying to give a lesson, and he just totally crashes and burns every stinking time, like just without it fail. But he never lets little Bear get on the bike, right, until the very end. And Papa Bear is just broken. He's beat. He's got bruises all over his face. He's dirty. His clothes are ripped. And Baby Bear is riding the bike successfully with Papa Bear on the handlebars, right? So it's kind of like over and over, this is what you do not do. This is what you do not do, as Papa Bear's just messing up and messing up and messing up. I kind of feel like that's the direction as I got as a kid is, hey, this is what you do not do. But I didn't come out unscathed. So my abuse of choice to cope with life was food, and specifically, sugar and carbohydrates. So I ate my feelings, and I internalized everything, and I got big. 253 was my biggest. 232 when I started keto. So I was really burying myself and punishing myself with all this food. I had no self-respect. I had no self-restraint. I didn't know what to do, and I really had no idea how to be kind to myself. Growing up wasn't a big loving thing. There wasn't really any hugging and physical touch. The first time I remember my dad saying that he loved me was out of fear. I think I was 18, 19 maybe, and I saw his car parked outside of where he worked, and I just got this whim to put a note on his car and saying, hey, I love you, Dad. And that's all it said. And I just went on about my way, and I get a phone call later, and he's like in tears going, oh my God, what's going on? Are you okay? Holy shit. He's just freaking out. And I was like, no, it's cool. I just left a note for you. That's it, but it sparked that kind of reaction in him. Right. And I'm not trying to say anything to downplay my parents. That's not what this is. Not a parent bashing session. This is just some facts. Okay. We all have our stories, and I'm a parent now, and I'm sure I'm fucking up quite a bit of stuff myself. So I'm not perfect by any means. So we'll put that out there. But it's just to say that that's just not how I was raised. And so, even coming into my marriage with Jamie, his love language is physical touch. And I'm like, oh, you want to hug? Ooh, creepy. I don't know if I can handle that. Right. It wasn't comfortable. It's not normal. Now it's becoming normal. And those of you I see out networking and whatever, I'm a very huggy, touchy, personable person, but that had to be learned because I did not experience that as a kid. And really, I was starved for love and attention as a kid, right? And so what that did is it made me a magnet for abuse. And that was not abuse from others. It was abuse to myself, right? So I became that nasty voice. I became that energy to drag myself down. It really has been a detriment for me for all these years, and I still battle it, much less now that I've done years and years of healing work around it, but it does creep up. Those gremlins do come back every now and then. But so something that gets me quite often when I see it on Facebook or around is a little meme that goes around. It says, who did you need when you were growing up? Or what did you most want when you were a child? Or be the person you needed when you were a child, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh gosh, it used to really pull on my heartstrings. And it does now to a certain degree. But really, you have to think about, if you're having trouble in this area, what was it that you most wanted when you were a kid, right? Was it love? Was it attention? Was it someone to be proud of you? Was it safety? Was it food, right? Okay, so we had like food insecurity issues. So yeah, been there, done that. But really what happened is I got older and I had no self-respect and I had no self-love and I didn't know what that looked like at all. And I had to learn that and I had to be open to receive that. And the idea is to know that you are worthy of love just how you are right now in this present moment. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You just need to breathe, and you are valuable and worthy of love. I know that might be a tough concept, but you are lovable and you are loved. So it's not just a feeling, it's a deep down inherent emotion that you've got to embrace if you want to change the negative patterns and the limiting beliefs that you've got going on inside of you right now. You have to believe you are worth it and that you have value and you are capable of making these changes. You get to write your story. Maybe you didn't get to write it as a child, but you get to rewrite it now. It is ultimately your choice. So I want to really let you know that that old story doesn't define you. That doesn't dictate your future unless you let it. You're the driver. You need to get in the driver's seat and start steering this bus where you want it to go. All right? All of that negativity and all that yucky junk that plays in your head, that's got to go to the back of the bus. They get to sit down, be quiet, don't touch anything, don't talk to anybody. They're hanging out because that's just how life is, but they don't get a say in anything. Okay? Push them to the back of the bus. You drive, you crank up those tunes, and you rock and roll, and you make life what you want it to be, what you need it to be, based on where you want to go. The sky's the limit. I know you've heard that a million times, but it's not BS. It's true. So we need to just outgrow that myth that you aren't loved, lovable, valuable, or worthy. Okay? So I'm here to tell you first and foremost that it is completely possible to change your lifestyle, to change the outcome, to forgive not only those that have hurt you or have fallen short of your expectations, but also yourself, right? You do the best with the knowledge that you have. And that's all there is to it. You want better knowledge, you want to be better, go after it. Get a coach, go to a seminar, go to a retreat, go online, do some research, Do what it is that you need to do to feel better so that you'll invest in yourself and get those life-changing moments started. Consistency, momentum. You've got this.